found out me and two of my friends were actually about to go out to Oxford that night, and I remember I was doing my makeup. I was in a big t-shirt, just got out of the shower, and my friend, I think she had like some extra pregnancy tests laying around, and she was like, y'all just take these because I need to get rid of them. I think she got them as a joke from one of her friends as a gift. And I realized that I was supposed to get my period that day. The day wasn't even over, so I wasn't really even thinking that much about it. So I went into the bathroom and I peed in the cup. I brought the test back out and sat it on like our little counter. And I kept doing my makeup because I literally was not thinking about this test at all. And one of my friends was in the room and she goes, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, "What?" I looked down and there's literally the brightest 2 pink lines ever. Like the line was not faint at all. Like it was clearly. So I'm thinking that my friend has given me like a prank test. I'm not convinced. Like I'm freaking out, but I'm not crying. I'm not convinced, basically. So she had another test. She was telling me it wasn't a fake. She gave me the other test that was a different brand, and I took it, same thing, 2 lines. So I'm like, okay, like, quit what we're doing. We're going to Walmart right now and buying every test that they have, every brand. So we get back. Obviously, I got the clear blue one that says pregnant on it or not pregnant. And, you know, that one is supposed to take a while to, like, beep each little line before it's done. Within 20 seconds, it had gone through all 4 lines and said pregnant. And I was like, I didn't even know what to do. I didn't cry. I just kind of just sat there with my arms, like with my hands over my mouth like this, like just not knowing what to do. So me and my mom are really close. Me and my dad are too. I love him, but obviously this is just something you probably tell your mom first. So I called my mom and I said, "Mom, I think that I might be pregnant." And she said, "Why do you think that?" And I said, "Because I took 4 tests and they all said pregnant." And I just remember her saying, "Grace," like just the most disappointed voice that I've ever heard in my life. And that's kind of when it really set in. And I was like, I can't believe that I was this stupid and let this happen. So I decided that I was going to pack all my stuff up and drive home that night so that I could go to my OB the next morning and just triple, quadruple check that this is for real. So I left, and that drive home was literally the longest drive of my life. I was starting to set in, like, this is really happening. My whole life's about to change. And there's just nothing that I can do at this point. So I confirmed with my OB the next morning. It's for real. It's happening. And I just broke down in the car with my mom, and I was just like, I don't know what is coming next. I think I waited a few days to tell my dad. I could not. That was truly, in my 25 years of life, one of the hardest things I've ever had to do was tell my dad, because I knew how disappointed he would be, and I knew that he would be upset with me, and I knew that just all of these things were gonna happen once I told him. And so when I did tell him, he was quite literally the opposite of what I thought he was going to be, and he has no idea how much that meant to me. He just sat there, he didn't freak out, and he said, "Give me 20 minutes." And he went up to his room. I'm sure he did some praying and some soul searching, and he came back downstairs and he said, "We're going to get through this." And he was like, "We're here for you, and you can do this, and we can do this." And I just, that just meant so much to me. I don't know if I could have survived if my dad didn't react that way. Even though I didn't deserve it, obviously. So the next 9 months were quite literally the lowest point in my life thus far. Hopefully I don't ever go lower than that, but the lowest point. I was working basically 11 hours every day at a clinic, growing a baby. I didn't have anyone by my side other than my family, which I love, but I didn't have a man, a boyfriend, nothing. I felt ugly. I felt fat. I felt lonely. I felt hopeless. I didn't have any money because I was working and paying all these bills that just got thrown on me because I was in college. You know, I wasn't paying bills. I wasn't in the real world yet. I was just living a fairy tale, honestly. My son was born, and I just remember all of those feelings that I experienced in those 9 months kind of went away. Like, I just realized that he was so worth it. And I mean, I knew that throughout my pregnancy, but it's just different once you meet the baby that you've been anticipating. There was still that one aspect that I really thought was never gonna change, which was a man in my life, someone to love. And I weighed more than I did before. I still felt ugly, and I still felt fat, and I still felt lonely because of that aspect. I didn't feel lonely because I had my son with me, but I never thought that anyone was gonna want me because I had a kid, basically. And then comes my husband, my now husband. I just really wanted to make this video because I know that there's a lot of single moms on here, and I was one of those people that truly got upset when people told me that, you know, one day you'll have the life that you want and all this stuff, and a man will come along, and it honestly just made me upset because I didn't ever believe it. And I'm living proof, like, it can happen, and it will happen when you don't think it's going to. And you're still beautiful, and you're not fat, and all those friends that you lost or that changed, your relationships changed with them. In the big scheme of things, what matters is you and your baby and y'all's happiness, and it's gonna be okay. Yeah, so I will be praying for all the single moms out there that are going through it, because it is truly an undescribable time of your life. It's so sad, it's so rewarding, it is so tiring, but it's so worth it. So worth it.